כשהם באים אז פשוט תשימי את זה. Keep it close to you. Muted. We're muted. שלי? מן המיצר קראתיה, ענני ומרחביה. From the depths, I have called you Adonai on page 273. at the bottom paragraph. Min hametzar karatia hayanani v'merchavia min hametzar karatia hanani v'merchavia. One more time together. Min hametzar karatia hanani v'merchavia min hametzar karatia hanani v'merchavia. Adonai li lo ira, Maya zeli adam. Adonai li lo ira, oh Maya zeli adam. In hametzar karatia hayanani v'merchavia min hametzar karatia hanani v'merchavia. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Temple B'nai Or. Bruchim Habaim to the people who are always here. Rabbi is not here on the bima tonight out of an abundance of caution because he has been exposed to someone with COVID. He has tested negative twice, but wants everyone here tonight to feel safe. So he will be joining us on the screens. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Take a moment to greet the people next to you. Kiss your family. Bless them. Wish them well. And we're going to allow the light of Shabbat into our lives by inviting tomorrow's Bar Mitzvah Emerson and his family to join us on the bima and to light the candles for us. Oh, hear our prayer, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. We welcome Shabbat, Kabbalat Shabbat with Zmirot on page 24. We begin with Shalom Aleichem, welcoming the angels. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei
הקדוש ברוך הוא. בוכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון. ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי
It is our custom to begin with Psalms welcoming Shabbat. We turn back to page 13. Psalm 96. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God a new song. Every Shabbat, it's a new song that we sing, that we bring more joy to our lives. Please join in the singing.
Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, baruchu miyom leyom yeshuato.
Let's do it again.
Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash,
shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruchu shemo, baruchu miyom leyom yeshuato. ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא הכל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני בזכו מיום ליום ישועתו. Continue welcoming Shabbat. Ulecha Dodi. Shabbat is the bride. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, 5, 9. And before verse 9, we're going to rise together in one community and face the door to symbolically let in the spirit of the bride that is Shabbat. Together, Ulecha Dodi on page 20. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat nekavela, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו והמיוחד, אדוני אחד, שמור אחד, לשם הוא ציפר ולתהילה. ובנך, כי אם מכל הברכה, מראש מקדם והנשומה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
תתעוררי, כי
העורך
ומיורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי,
כבוד אדוני עלייך מילה.
בואי בשלום, עטרת בה, גם בשמחה ובטוב, אור אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאי לי לי, יא לה 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 לי לך דודי, יא לה לה לי לקראת כלה, יא לה לה פני שבת, פני שבת נקה. We remain standing on page 28.
Come all of you, come all of us, bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, bless the one who blesses.
Blessed is the blessed one.
Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Blessed is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us.
together on page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבים. Please be seated. את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. On page 39, together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך בקודש אוסף נורא תפילות, אוסף אוסף מלכותך ראו פניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים צאלי, ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. מי כמוך
באלים אדוני,
מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תפילות, אוסף נורא תפילות, אוסף אוסף ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. I'm gonna turn it off completely. Okay. Forgive technical difficulties. We're going to continue with Hashkivenu. On page 42, we ask God to protect us on our journey from all harm and technical difficulties. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. And our phrase from Torah on page 44, no good? Okay. Reminding us to keep Shabbat, the most important commandment in the 10 Commandments. We sing together this reminder weekly on page 44. ושמרו
בני ישראל לעת השבת,
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעת השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל לעת השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל לעת השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמעו בני ישראל לעת השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Continue on page 46 with Amidah, which means to stand. And in a moment, we're all going to rise together as one community. We're actually going to chant this section on our own with either the prayers of the page or the prayers of your heart. Before you take the stand, I ask you to take a moment to really check in with yourself. How you feel? Are you breathing? Is anything tense in your body? Are technical difficulties bothering you? Take a check with your body. Take a big exhale of this week. Any stress, any pressure, any sadness, let it all out. And let's stand now together. We're going to ask God to open up our lips so that we have those right words to pray with, but who's to say what those words are? Let's each of us find those words for us. Maybe set a kavanah, an intention for this prayer section. There's so many themes in the Amidah. You could focus your heart on gratitude, that's a good one, or peace and wholeness, to really feel it inside so that we can spread that energy to the world. לב טהור ברא לי אלוהים, ורוח נכון חדש בקרבי. אל תשליכני מלפניך, ורוח קודשך אל תיקח ממני. אדוני, שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך.
תהילתך אדוני, שפתי תיטח ופי יגיד תהילתך. מצאך מקומך נעלה ונעלם, ואנה לא אמצאך, כבודך מלא עולם. דרשתי קרבך בכל ליבי, קראתיך ובצעתי לקראתי מצאתי. מצאך מקומך נעלה ונעלם, ואנה לא אמצאך, כבודך מלא עולם. Our thoughts turn
to those in our community and the universe who are in need of prayers for healing. We think in our community of Madeline Benjamin, Larry Benson, Margot Blaustein, Claudia DeJesu, Nicholas DeJesu, Mary Jo Glazer, Lena Hammer, Oliver David Horn, John Houston, Sheila Karner, Joseph Lupkin, Lori Mazzarella, Reese Osmond, Judy Ragona, Bert Reinfleisch, Eileen Reinfleisch, Karen Russo, Don Rubin, Gail Humus Rush, Jerry Shacker, Eileen Scott, Bernice Zide, Alan Silverstein, Gilbert Simon, Glenn Swatinsky, Howard Taradash, Marjorie Van Dow, Lisa Warper, Edie Weinstein, and Julie Weinstein. If there's anyone that you're thinking of at this time whose name I have not mentioned, please say their name as my eyes meet yours. If there's anybody in the chat. Mark McBride. We join together the words of the Misha Berach. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Vela, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. אלנה רפנה, אלנה רפנה לה, אלנה רפנה, אלנה רפנה לה. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את החולים. And now we're going to hear wisdom from the rabbi. We're going to teleport him.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear me in the sanctuary. Thank you to Andy, to Mary, to Naomi, to whoever else is in the back there. I don't know who made this work. Thank you. So friends, everybody recently is talking about the Sharks and the Jets. West Side Story, of course, it's coming out. Maybe it's already out. I don't even know. Streaming in the theaters. But I want to talk about another classic. Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Instead of the Sharks and the Jets, who do we have? We have the farmers and the ranchers. The farmer and the cowman should be friends, the song says. It reminded me this week's Torah portion. The farmer and the cowman should be friends, because in this week's Torah portion, we have Jacob and his sons coming to Egypt because of a famine. They don't know, or they didn't know, that their brother Joseph is now the prime minister of Egypt, second to Pharaoh. And he tells his brothers when they're there, therefore, when Pharaoh sends for you and asks, what do? say, your servants have been breeding livestock from youth onwards to now, both our households and our father's households, in order that you may live, in order, Joseph says, that you may live in the region of Goshen, away from mainland Egypt. For the Egyptians find shepherds abhorrent. The Egyptians, who we learn in these Torah portions, were farmers. They find shepherds to be abhorrent, says Joseph. No, why? Why is that the case? Our medieval commentator Rashi guesses that because sheep are Egyptian gods. I don't know if he really read the hieroglyphs and knew about Egyptian religion, but he said the sheep are Egyptian gods. Ibn Ezra, another medieval commentator, says he guesses, well, maybe the ancient Egyptians were vegetarians like the Indians of his contemporary day. I don't know. I don't actually, though, think that's what the Torah is saying. I agree with some modern thinkers, including the Israeli Chazoni, who says that shepherds and farmers are literary tropes. Like in Oklahoma, the rangers, the ranchers, and the farmers. Like I'm from Missouri, so we read a lot of Mark Twain. In Huckleberry Finn, you have the Shepherdsons and the Grangerfords, the two families that are fighting each other. So we have shepherds and farmers. So if these are literary tropes, what are they trying to teach us? The contemporary Rabbi Rafi Eis writes, while the farmer improves his lot through organization and authority, the shepherd, skeptical of hierarchy, employs creativity and independence to better her life. The Bible, however, does not ignore the shepherd's challenges, especially the vulnerability of a nomadic lifestyle. When famine arrives, as it does in our Torah portion, as it frequently does, it is the farming civilizations that can sustain life. Similarly, the constant movement of the shepherd prevents him from forming larger communal bonds. Like Jacob, as he approaches Esau, the shepherd lacks the consistent protection needed to ward off invading armies. Shepherds, like Abraham, Jacob, and Moses, are the Bible's initial heroes. But it is the character of David who can take the virtues of the shepherd and bring them into the city when creating the national polity. So in the Bible, it seems to be David who started life as a shepherd, kind of brings the two things together, being a shepherd and a farmer, or farmer meaning civilization, let's say. So let's think about this in our Bible, in the Torah. We have Egypt and Babylonia, the two great civilizations. We think of the pyramids. We think of, in Babylonia, what were called the ziggurats, these huge temples with the hanging gardens. But then we have just little Israel, the shepherds. But what is it about? What is Egypt and Babylonia? These civilizations that are based on farming are also about empire and power. And Israel is about, as we said in last week's Haftarah during Hanukkah, lo b'chayil, not by might, not by power, but by God's Spirit. The Pharaoh thinks that he is all powerful. Israel realizes that there's only one sovereign, and that's God. Okay, what else might these two tropes mean, the shepherds and the farmers? Settling down and wandering. Well, we can see there's, as I read, there's downsides to wandering. Settling gives you protection, gives you comfort. But wandering, it gives you dynamism, gives you brings innovation. So again, we have Egypt is about order under the Pharaoh and the gods. In Israel, it's about dynamism or comfort and discomfort. But we know that order, comfort, these are not bad things. They're only bad things when we say that they're the ultimate value. They need to be kept in balance with the dynamism. But dynamism can be a bad thing too. When we think that innovation is the only thing, we lose our rootedness, we lose a sense of our ancestors, we lose a sense of tradition, we lose a sense of something greater than, we could lose a sense of authority greater than us. So we Jews become reconciled, as I said before, in a character like David, who was a shepherd, but also came to Jerusalem, a city. So we need both. I think the Jewish people need to go between those two poles of the shepherds and the farmers. We can never totally settle. And yet we are rooted in the past and rooted in our traditions and rooted in something greater than ourselves. As Rabbi Leo Beck writes, whoever possesses spirit, that person's conscience is never satisfied, never stilled. Or as Rabbi Yisrael Salanter says, similarly, as long as one lives a life of calmness and tranquility in the service of God, it is clear that person is remote from true service. So he's talking about between these two poles, being between these two poles, between the shepherd and the farmer, between the wanderer and the settled one, between the sharks and the jets, the farmers and the ranchers. Friends, when you feel that you're being too settled, you need to remind yourself of Jacob and his sons, that you come from a people who are shepherds. But when you feel yourself adrift, when you feel that your life is just too full of wandering, remind yourself that we have a center. Be that the idea of Jerusalem, be that centering in our tradition, in our ancestors, in our people. We live between these poles. May Shabbat be that centering for you, and may Shabbat be that spark that takes you out of your comfort too for the rest of the week. May you have Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi. I don't know if you can hear me, but we continue with Aleinu. Okay. 1, 2, 3. On page 282, please rise. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך page 285
על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, אדוני אלוהינו, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, אדוני אלוהינו. לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך, לתקן עולם, לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך, במלכות שדי. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. Please be seated. We turn to page 294. Our thoughts and our prayers turn to think about those of us who are no longer with us. In the period of Shloshim, within the last 30 days, we remember the following people. I invite you, if you are here or at home, to rise as I say your loved one's name. And then at the conclusion of the list of people, we will all rise as one community. We think at this time of Theodore Fried, Ellie Silverstein, Alan Kadish, Mary Lou Perini. And at this time, we remember the yahrzeits of Alex Edickman, Bertha Einbender, Dorothy Oken Allen, Penina Asher, Justin Black, Mildred Diamond, Ethel Dorfman, Risa Eger, Francis Fried, Irma Fisher, Nathan Gold, Adele Gordon, Barbara Gordon, Helen Gordon, Morris Greenberger, Miriam L. Harris, Irving Helderman, Howard Herbiter, Lena Holzer, Leon Kasman, Esther Katchen, Betty H. Katz, Claire Kurland, Benjamin Levin, Albert Lieberman, Shirley Litwin, Ben Lobel, Molly Margulies, Doris Orgel, Israel Pfeiffer, Sylvia Sander, Maria Schloss, Bella Schönborn, Mary Schwartz, Richard Simon, Erna Weincheck-Strauss, Angeline Tremmel, Regina Wang, Barbara Weinberg, Cynthia Weinman, Rosa Weinschenk, Carol Willand, Evelyn Zahn, Francisca Zucker. If there's anybody you're remembering at this time whose name I have not mentioned, please say their name and rise. Thank you for rising over there in the chat box. If there's anybody else. We join together with the words of Kaddish on page 294. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. We continue with Kiddush. Emerson, please join me on the bima. Now we both have to do this mic. Why don't you do this mic? Okay, hold on. There we go. Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafim.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל עמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Voila. Holla.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please come join us with Motzi and Oneg.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Take the watch. Share with the family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hello, hello.
Oh, I know. Wait, I can't say hi to these people. I know. I gotta start the video. For you. I did it for you. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Maybe Rabbi can schmooze with you because he's over there on the
I
computer.
was
Oh, wait, I
I
can't
was
hear you.
snoozing.
Let's
Hear
hear
you. Wait a second.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
But you can hear in the sanctuary when I spoke?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was loud and clear.